Welcome back to another devlog of Spell Hunt, a top-down isometric platformer I've been working on for about a year now. And today, I've got some updates to share about the game, and one of these updates is what I think the biggest change I've added to this game so far. Last time I said I wanted to work on making the levels have more variety, and so we'll start with that right now. First things first, all the levels are basically in one straight line. Sure, it might go left and right sometimes, but you basically go through a few rooms until you hit an exit. Not much variety in that, so let's change it. Basically, I implemented branches to my levels. At first it wasn't working correctly. Either the branches wouldn't generate or the game would be extremely laggy, but I got it to work. And now levels should look more randomized every time you start one. Of course, with these branching paths, it would be difficult to know where you are or where you've been. So I added a map that you can toggle to show the whole view or a partial view, with the green floors representing an area of the level that you've cleared already. I made it so that some levels could have specific enemies assigned to appear in a level. Like, for example, a level centered around having to take down a hog boss could have most of its enemies be hogs. Or a level about looking for a premium jar of honey would turn most enemies into bee variants. And along with these, I've added variants of existing enemies, such as smaller baby versions of existing enemies that have simpler attacks that are close to the original, but easier to dodge. And I added 2 completely new enemies. And so the first enemy I added was a magic caster enemy with 3 variations. One will shoot regular bullets, another will surround itself in bullets, and the last one is a healer that will heal all enemies close enough to it. All 3 will teleport around the area before initiating a move. The next thing I've added is what I consider to be the biggest change I've made to the game so far. Since even before my last devlog, I was wondering on how I could go about making the different quests and bounties be even more varied. I thought about adding stage hazards that would only appear in certain quests, such as making the level foggy, or adding sticky honey everywhere, or even an invincible enemy that would follow you chucking bombs at you. But no matter what, I couldn't think of anything that I think could stick and not get annoying. I was having so much trouble coming up with obstacles that can get in your way from getting to the exit, but that's when it hit me. I shouldn't be making all the levels about getting to the goal. Instead, I should be changing up what you're doing in every level. These are quests after all, and trying to make your way to a goal isn't really quest-like. And so the things you are doing should be centered around what makes sense to complete a quest. And so with an actual good idea in my head, I started working on this feature. The first thing I added was a task manager that would manage every task you have to complete in order to complete a quest. And I even made it so that you could have 2 tasks with the potential to add even more down the line. Next, I worked on different types of tasks. And so first up were the eliminate type tasks, where the goal is to eliminate all certain types of an object. For example, having to eliminate all the hog enemies on the floor or all the towers on the floor. Next up were the find type tasks, in which you go through the level looking for certain items. However, the enemies will be holding onto the items you need, with an indicator above their heads showing the item that they have, and you'll need to kill them in order to take the item from them. For example, you could be searching for missing pages of a book that the enemies are holding that you'll need to get back. As of right now, it's basically similar to the eliminate type tasks, in which you're required to eliminate certain enemies, but not actually required to eliminate all enemies of a certain type. I think I'll make it so that you have to bring the items back to the start of the level to put in a basket, or something, I don't know, to complete the level. Third is the explore type tasks. The goal is to turn all the areas on the floor green, and to turn the areas green, you have to eliminate all enemies in an area. And lastly, I've added the boss type tasks, in which you just have to beat the boss. It's a simple task of just having to find the boss door and head to the boss, but I might make it so that you have to find a key first, but for now I think it's alright. And so yeah, those are the 4 tasks I've added to my game so far. And the best part about this is that I can combine these different types of tasks together to make more levels unique. For example, I could have a quest where you need to kill all certain types of an enemy while having to find items in that level too. The possibilities with this is pretty much endless, and I could add even more types of tasks down the line if I can think of any. But if you guys have any ideas for any tasks, let me know. I could probably implement those too. I even made it so that certain quests don't make it a requirement to beat all the enemies in the area to progress. Instead, you can traverse the floor, choosing to fight the enemies you need to fight. But adding that gave me another issue that I had to think about. Since I made it an option in some quests to have to fight enemies, I was struggling to come up with reasons as to how I should go about encouraging players to go out their way to kill non-important enemies, or to even encourage them to try out the different bounties and quests, and not just the ones that are needed to progress the story. And so I decided to go the route that RPGs usually do and made a level system. And just like in standard RPGs, killing enemies will give you EXP, and once you complete a bounty or a quest, there will be a results screen that will tally up all the EXP you've earned. And if you earn enough EXP, you'll level up and 4 stats will be increased by a random amount. These stats being your HP, your magic points, your attack stat, and your magic attack stat. Of course, by adding levels to the players, I needed to add levels to the enemies. And so now bounties and quests will have enemies at a certain level. And as of right now, higher levels just means more HP for enemies, but later down the line I could add more to that, like making them do more damage or giving them even harder attacks, basically. And that's all I've got to talk about for today. I mean, I could talk about like how I added outlines to the player, or how I added a better death animation for the player, the 3 new bosses I've added to the game, but I'll keep those a secret for now. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the new task and level system, and remember to like and subscribe for more updates, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.